the word Mucinex. Conjures up images of those booger guys.
Oh, God. Those were terrible commercials. Oh, they were awful. Oh, my God.
You did start recording just after I got done saying that.
I did.
Listener, we're unwell.
We're both unwell. Spencer has something going on, and I've got a head cold going on, and so we're going to power through for you, Brad Mondo, because we love you just that much. And if I do have to sniffle, I'm going to do it in such a way, hopefully, that Mike could just edit it out, so that nobody gets grossed out. So hello and welcome to the Royal Highness podcast, where Spencer and I have never seen Game of Thrones. We watch it for the first time while enhanced with cannabis products, and then try to tell you what we saw. We have a good time. Hello, Spencer.
Hello, Eileen.
So what did you think of this week's episode, season 1, episode 5, The Wolf and the Lion?
Winter's coming.
I said, holy shit, a lot during this episode for a lot of different reasons.
And normally we would be in the same room together watching this, and you would have just said, holy shit, or holy fuck. Instead, I got texts like every 10 minutes. Holy shit! Holy fuck! And he was ahead of me. I'm like, don't tell me anything.
Yeah, so I watched this episode on my laptop in the living room, and my wife is behind me. And every so often, I just reach over and slap paws on it and go, flail my arms around because it was just too much. There's a lot going on in this episode. But my wife finally got to see what it looks like while I do this.
Oh my God. Well, I was worried that my husband was going to want to be involved, but he's playing radio downstairs, and so I'm up in my office by myself. And I did the same thing you did. I watched it on my laptop in my office, so that nobody bothered me. And I kind of realized that, Spencer, I miss you because nobody bothered me.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's all right.
Sometimes shit happens.
It's all right. So this week, there's another joust. We have some actual cat chasing, and that leads to Ares going into a dragon's mouth. I said being eaten by a dragon, but that's not exactly right.
Yeah, and that's not really how that ends. There's a lot more after that.
Yeah, there's a lot more after that, but
this is a high-impact episode.
It is. It's going to be a quick one, I think, so we can both go die. Last week...
we'll still tell you the story, but it'll be a little more laconic than normal. Let's just say that. Succinct? I don't know. Yeah. I'm just trying to find a good word for how that'll be.
So last week, Valerian, he fucked around and found out. Cat caught Tyrion using some old friends and some swords, and and some other stuff happened. So
yes,
we're gonna jump right in. Okay, so while the opening song was happening,
yeah,
every time that Tim Burton tree gets because everything else is very mechanical, and that seems very organic.
It does. It reminds me something of The Nightmare Before Christmas a little bit.
Yeah, that's Tim Burton. Yeah,
it's I know, but that particular joint of his, I have something to say about the intro sequence as well, and we talk about it every week because it's fucking great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a that thing at the optometrist. Number 1. Number 2.
Yeah.
Which
one is clearer? Number 1?
Yeah.
Or number 2?
How about number 4?
Or number 2? Half the time I'm like, I don't know. They both look crappy.
They're blurry because I can't see shit.
Right.
But there's a little feature in the intro sequence where it like zooms in on a town, and I keep thinking of that shik thing. That's just something that came to mind. Also, in the recap prior to the intro sequence, it was really nice to see Viagra's poop the biggest poop face.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really just,
you slap me again? You ain't going to have any slappy bits left.
That's right.
She didn't
Next
say
time you go
exactly
to
that.
slapping, you ain't slapping no mo.
That's right. And I thought, and again on the theme song, I thought at the very end, I was like, this has a very Survivor feel to it. Have I said that before?
You said that in episode 1.
Did
I have a
I?
notebook here.
Oh wow.
I
You
do
are
not have a
Johnny on the
notebook.
spot too. That was like,
No, I just remember it.
oh, okie dokie. Yeah, but just the song itself has a Survivor feel too. Okay.
It does. It's driving violins and bums. I was in music. I was going to college to be a music teacher, and I just described them as bums. So
Did you really? I did not know that about you.
yeah, that was my career choice, is to be in music education, and that I determined quite early on sucked, only because I didn't want to turn something I really love doing into a job.
Band teachers are an entirely different breed.
They're insane.
Are.
They're insane.
But the thing is, you would have been the most fun band teacher.
I don't know about that.
Mr. Watts, Mr. Watts.
What do you want, children?
Okay, so we come out of the opening sequence, and I said, ooh, cool castle. That was a very cool castle, right? That they were going to. Then they go to the jousting grounds. And
yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's just brutal. Like, this is what those poor guys have to go through. They're cleaning up the highway after you hit a deer. They got a big blood all across.
I wondered why Ned decided to. I mean, obviously, he went to pay his respects to Sir Hugh, but why do you have to walk right past it? It's like, gross, Ned. You're gross. Get away from there.
It's like a train wreck. Literally.
Yeah,
it's like a joust wreck.
Yeah.
How do you pass it out?
In this visit to the to Sir Hugh's body, there's some people cleaning up his wounds, and Barristan is the name of the old knight that, if you recall.
I recall nothing.
Very good. Anyway, he's in there seeing to Ned to Hugh's last rites or something. I don't know. He vouched. He did something.
I saw somebody sewing somebody's neck up. That was cool.
Yeah, that was Hugh's neck.
I know it was Hugh's neck, but I don't know who was sewing him up.
One of the nurses? I'm not sure.
Oh.
Would you hire
why bother?
Yeah, just get a seamstress.
They're just he's dead, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll just get some guy with some yarn.
True. Doesn't have to be pretty.
This doesn't look very good. He's fucking dead. Who cares?
It's not going to have an open casket, with Amazing Grace and people wandering past.
They put you on a platform. They put rocks on your face, and women with lawn chairs in their pants walk around you for an hour. That's what happens when you die. There's nothing spectacular or fun or neat about it. So maybe they sewed him up for that. I don't know.
Do you think they use the same rocks every time?
No, I suppose.
Or do they bury them with the rocks?
You retire the rocks at least. I don't think you'd. Community rocks.
So yeah, instead of
my dad was fitted with these rocks. I know I will too. Yeah. Oh, googly eyes. If that was the family rock, paste the eyes upon him.
Oh gosh.
Oh yes.
Okay, so
that's great.
Stark's there. He's thinking something's fishy, and he wants to know why or how they pick the knights. Right?
Yeah.
Who's going to fight who?
Who's going to fight? They draw straws.
Well, who was he talking to?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was some sort of mutual admiration society. It was the old guy.
Was it the old guy?
Yeah, Barristan? It was the old guy. The one with the bowl cut, with the gray bowl cut.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Barristan.
His name is what?
Barristan.
Barristan?
You betcha.
Barristan Bears?
No, not even close. Barrr. Got stuck on the
Barr.
Istan. What? Barristan.
So they get to the king's, and he's saying, "Oh crap! You're telling me the king wants to joust?" He's like, he's bored, So
we go in to see Robert putting some armor on.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh geez, it's the trying to put on your wedding dress again.
This fat guy in a little coat.
Yeah, and so Bobby Baltharan, what's his name again? Baltharian.
Baratheon. Baratheon is not whatever. Right. Remember,
right? He can't fit in his armor, and So Lancel is his name?
Yes.
Okay, Lancel Lannister. Oh, that is some bad alliteration.
Mm-hmm.
I said he looks like an anime boy, doesn't he? Because
He
his hair's all
does.
kind of swept to one side in that scene. I'm like, oh, he's a little anime boy. He's really pretty.
Yeah. He's a pretty boy. Yes.
It's a pretty boy, and it's his fault that the armor doesn't fit him.
Yeah. So he sends him out to get the breastplate stretcher.
Yeah.
And I'm
but
like,
before that, he like mom shames him. He's like, your mom had a big
your
butt.
mother's a whore.
What?
I did write that in my notes. I wrote that in. Oh, is that what he's? That's right.
Yeah.
Your mother's a whore. And she's got a fat ass. And I'm like,
no, a fat arse.
Well, yeah, but the breastplate stretcher thing to me was just like, go get some blinker fluid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was so thrilled that happened.
Skype hunt, or not Skype hunting.
Snipe hunt. I wrote that.
Skype hunting is when it's like you have to use Skype because your great aunt Tilly's calling you, and you have to go looking for it through the apps buried deep in your computer. Anyway, I don't have an aunt
I've used
Tilly.
Once in my life.
It was. I've used it a couple times. It's terrible. Oh, so Stark tells him, "Don't joust. They're just going to let you in anyway." Because it's literally a crime to hurt you.
This is shortly after he says, "You're too fat for your armor."
Oh, yeah.
And Robert just goes, "Fat!" and proves that he's fat. And then
there's a lot of fat shaming in this show.
Yeah, well, I think it's mostly directed toward Robert, but fuck him. I'm cooling off on Robert. I thought he was cool. But now he just gets mad.
Yeah, he's not great.
Well, just everybody.
Because let's see. Do you think I'm what did Tyrion ask when he was being like shamed at the wall? He's like, do you think I'm pudgy or do you think I'm
plump was the word.
Plump. Yeah. And then there's the guy at the wall that they're giving him crap because
Sam. Oh yeah, I guess it's chunky. more than
he's
just
fluffy.
Robert.
He's got a big beautiful body just like me. And in fact we have very similar figures. Potato on 2 toothpicks. That's my
My mom used to call that orange on a popsicle stick.
She only had one leg.
It's a shame what happens.
Oh, that's so sad now. Your mom only had one.
Oh, my mom had both her legs. That's not
good.
No, she used to call that body shape, orange on a popsicle stick.
Okay.
So you're talking about some hypothetical person with only one leg, and
it's
kind of funny.
Stick.
One, but we'll assume they're two legs, half size, put together to make a popsicle stick. These are the saddest limbs of all. 1/2 a popsicle stick.
Fused together like a mermaid, like an orange.
We don't get far. Me and my joined legs. Flop around like a tadpole. Unless it's actually a popsicle stick. In which case you just go, step.
Oh man.
Wow, where did we go?
Okay, let's see. So they start complaining about Cersei, and then
at this point I noticed that Robert does not like his wife.
Well, no. I mean, she's like doing the nasty with her brother. He knows about it. He's got to know about it.
I'm not going to presume anything.
Yeah. So, and then
he's. I don't have an answer on the prediction board for this week. I don't think.
Oh no. Did we have? We'll get to the boob count because it was boob full.
There was some very odd and uncomfortable boobs in this. I'm not one to complain typically, but I almost said nippically. I'm not one to complain nippically, but in this case, I was put off by, depending on my attitude, 1 to 3 boobs. We'll get to that. So
he says,
but murder count. Sorry, listener, Brad. I can't do murder count anymore. We'll get to that too.
Oh no. Okay.
I lost count after.
Yeah, today was a big one on the body count board.
We'll get to that. Sorry, I keep cutting away here.
And he said something about smelling blood. And he said, it's better to smell someone else's blood. Let's go smell someone else's blood. So he's not going
to the joust. Yeah.
And I said,
And
"Oh, dang, the blood's all cleaned up. They've kind of patched over the little patch."
you know when you go to a baseball game between innings or
They rake
between
the
innings,
field.
yeah, they
Yeah,
get the groundskeepers out with those big rakes. I bet they do that
canes.
at the joust, just all across the infield.
It looked
They
pretty
probably do that.
uniform. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. And I said, "Oh boy,
professional.
this guy is a bit much." The
Oh,
knight,
Sir Loris.
Sir Loris,
Well,
brave Sir
I wrote
Loris.
he's a dandy,
Yeah, I just said he's a
and
bit much.
and then I wrote watch most of his face come off in a second. And guess
No,
what?
Hugh kept his face. He lost his jugular. That was the issue.
That was last week though,
And I said, Leonardo DiCaprio is what
but
he looks like. He
worse.
looks like a long-haired Leonardo DiCaprio.
Like Man in the Iron Mask, Leonardo DiCaprio, or younger than that.
That sounds about right. He had long
That's
hair in that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay. I'm probably
And I
wrong
think
about
that's
that. And I thought, and I wrote, this isn't going to go well.
well,
because
I mean, it doesn't go well in a sense.
right, but I noticed Mountain's horse, like when they got real close to each other. So the Mountain's horse starts freaking out.
I didn't really know
didn't
what that
clock
was
that?
about.
Yeah, but they didn't say. And I said, Loris does okay. Because he actually knocked the Mountain off his horse.
He sure
And
does.
yeah.
Mountain is not a happy camper.
No. And I said, so Cameron basically calls out, okay, it's one of the sons. Is it one of the sons? He says he's fourth
His
in
son,
line.
okay, yes, his king's brother. His name is Renly.
How do you know that? My
I
closed
am
captioning doesn't give me that.
amazing.
You are amazing.
I know that's the last cool thing I'm ever going to do.
Wow.
Renly, who's always in the small council because I believe once again he's the king's brother.
Okay.
And he gets called out by Baelish, you said?
Yes. For being the knight's lover. Because he says, when are you going to take him or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And mentions trickery. But then the best scene of the whole.
Okay, well, I don't know if I would call this the best.
Wild. No, it's not.
Right.
It's just, I literally, my jaw dropped when it happened.
I went, holy shit. So the Mountain, who is furious for being displaced or unseated from his horse, gets up and he goes, sword! And a sword goes shook into his hand. And he draws his sword and he walks up to his horse and he fucking chops his head off!
I said, oh, what the fuck? I just literally, my jaw dropped and I was like, this is just nuts.
That's the first time my hands went up in the air and I hit pause. That was the first time. I just went,
really?
Slap.
I had hit pause like 6 times before now. So then the Hound comes out and he's like, no. So they start fighting.
Well, yeah, because then the Mountain goes after Loris. The Hound says, stop. You need to stop this. This is bullshit.
Yep.
And he won't listen, so he jumps down and starts attacking his brother. Loris goes off to pee in his tin armor. And then there is a sword fight.
And there was one scene where they just really briefly cut to Draco. And I think that's the only time we saw him in this entire episode. Yeah. And I was very happy about that.
Yes. We
didn't have to see Draco. And he's all like, he's just amused. And
the number of people that get punched in the balls until they die this week is much lower than last week.
Yeah.
I think. Anyway,
the king stops it, and I said, and the pretty knight, Loris, he's in the back, all draw me like one of your French girls. He's like, I'm pausing it, and he's like laying back there in his armor like this. I'm posing for Spencer right now. I don't know if he can see me because he's probably looking at his notes and not me, but I can see him in his closet.
I see you doing this.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
This is the pose. I'm going to paint a word picture, listener. Just her arm up. And an angle, hand on head, like that. But supposedly 1 foot.
Like if you were going to do the sprinkler.
Yeah, but only not with the other arm. Okay.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
What I wrote here was Sansa apparently has eyes for Loris as well. I saw a look between them.
She's got eyes for everybody. Well, he gives
Pretty
her a
much.
rose, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's a 14-year-old girl. Have you ever been a 14-year-old girl, Spencer?
I managed somehow to fail to do that.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, a 14-year-old girl will fall for frickin' anything. You hand her a flower, she's gonna be like, "Oh my God,
Fair enough.
I'm in love." So
Look at this. He gave me the outside cover of his notebook. He drew some stick figures on it.
He
We're in
let
love.
me wear his coat at recess. No, I shouldn't say that. Okay, I should qualify this. 14-year-old girls when I was a 14-year-old girl, because I have met modern 14-year-old girls and they take no shit.
That's true.
So I props to them because
Mm-hmm.
kids were dumb when I was a kid. Now they're all smart and worldly, and it's scary as hell. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
Have their moments. Yes, we are. We were talking about Sansa and her such a whore.
Oh,
looking at every single boy, but really,
it's just normal.
Loris is much better in just about every way
Than Draco?
Than Jeffrey. Yeah,
he is kind of a
I mean,
true. However, she's not his type.
No, because he likes penises.
Yes.
And that's fine. But he could have maybe been. He could. Okay, wait a minute.
Well, I'm just saying that
doesn't make sense because he gave her a rose, milady, and meanwhile,
she's his beard.
Oh, does she? She's not in on it though.
No, she's really not. That's what I'm saying. That's why she got that look like. Anyway,
I see.
So we're changing scenes.
We are.
So
winter is coming.
We see Cat has Tyrion. They drag him off the back of the horse and take the hood off of him. And so then Tyrion starts walking towards Cat. And the ultimate insult is that they have brought along the terrible bard.
Yes.
Likes. And he's singing a song about Tyrion being captured. And I'm just like, I love this scene so much.
This, the bard reminded me a lot of the minstrels of Brave Sir Robin, and I wanted desperately to watch them eat him. They did not.
They were forced to eat Robin's minstrels, and there was much rejoicing.
What I wrote was, we meet up with Tyrion and Cat. Fucking bard. Nice dulcimer. And I remember last week I said I want to defend bards.
Mm-hmm.
Not this one. Not this one. I just don't like this one. Every other bard's pretty cool. Not this one.
What about the bard in The Witcher? Did you watch The Witcher?
I did not.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind.
I know you're supposed to throw a penny to him or something.
Oh my gosh. Toss a coin.
Toss a coin.
Very
Toss a
coin to your Witcher. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man. I totally
throw a penny. What the fuck?
I totally MST3K'd this with my husband one night because he wanted to watch it, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, but I cannot guarantee I will not make fun of this thing the whole way through. And I did, and he enjoyed it, so he kept letting me watch it with him. Yeah. But those are some thick ropes that they've got him tied with.
They just wrapped it around.
Cartoonish. They're ridiculous.
Maybe he's just. We really don't have a sense of scale because we don't know how tall he is. Those ropes could be normal sized.
I don't think they were normal size. These are ridiculously big. They're ridiculously thick. I mean, it literally looks like he took them off of somebody's curtains. It's terrible.
Decorative curtain restraints. Where's the rope? We don't have any bloody rope. Well, there's bits of rope that you hold the curtains back with. Bring that. We'll tie him up with something.
His little how far could he get? So immediately he's like, hey, we're on the Eastern Road. I guess we're going to your sister's house, huh? This guy is like on top of everything.
He's very smart. And then he's like, untie me.
And then I don't remember.
Like, why?
Now, has there been talk of the sister before?
Yeah, she mentions, Kat mentions her sister in the first episode when they're talking at the Bean Lake when Ned is cleaning his sword.
Oh, that's right. She got a
She
Raven.
got a tweet from her.
Okay. Anyway,
Or whatever the
Tyrion's
tweet
like,
is.
you know what? I had nothing to do with my fuckstick brother pushing your son out the window of the tower. Oh, well, he didn't really say that. He
He
said,
didn't say any of that.
no. He says, I
But
didn't
he's-
have anything to do with the
I don't have
attempt
anything to do.
on your son's life. Okay. So then I'm like, who are these guys? All of a sudden, just like people just show up and start
Yeah.
attacking them. And there's
Big
blood,
time.
there's spurt. It's like, it's a thing. And
This is when shit starts getting bonkers.
yeah, who were they?
I don't know. I imagine the wild men or some ruffians. I couldn't say, but
Hoodlums? Hooligans?
there's shenaniganry afoot,
Oh my goodness.
and there's a firefight. That's
Firefight?
my
There's
what's
no
that horrible
movement?
movie?
Oh.
No, there's rocks. There's projectiles.
Well, that's true.
which-
Slingshotties. Yeah.
Yeah, rocks come flying, and Tyrion gets
arrows.
untied, and he steals somebody's shield,
And he
and
could run.
immediately,
He could run, but he doesn't.
in fact, he stays and protects Cat,
He protects Cat.
and he crushes some dude's face with the pointy
his
end of his shield.
Yeah.
Crushes another dude's face. He's just like mashing people to bits.
Okay.
Fucking love it.
And I said, yikes, there's nobody left, right?
Yeah, everyone's dead.
Everyone's
well, I
dead,
mean,
except
all the principals are dead or alive.
are alive. Did Neck Ponytail not even get attacked?
I didn't
Nobody attacked him.
I wasn't paying much attention to him because I was watching what
He was
what Tyrion was
perfectly
doing.
clean. He was perfectly clean. He was barely breathing hard. He's
he
just
was
in
out
there
of
going,
breath.
whoa, that was something, huh?
Well, it's a good
Woo.
thing I was in back waxing my mustache ponytail
it's a good
ear
thing
things.
I was deep into the neckbeard game.
This
And then,
zen of weird hair.
so who is Tyrion talking to when he's like, "Oh, is that your first kill?"
Yoren, I think, was with him at the time.
Okay, and he's like, "You need a woman, nothing like a woman after your first kill."
Yes.
Okay.
Well, if she wants, I guess.
Yeah, she goes, "I'm willing if she is."
Ba-dum-bum. Also, at this point, we learn what Ponytail Man's name is.
We do?
Would you believe his name is Roderick?
I would.
Yes. I'm not lying to you.
No.
So-
No, wait a minute. Wait. What am I thinking? The Chronicles of Riddick. Okay, it's not Riddick.
That's
That's a whole. I'm like, was that a spinoff? Is this a spinoff?
no, that's a thing.
I know.
Yeah, you did all right. That's the thing with Vin Diesel in it.
So when they show,
Okay.
they're like, "I'm willing if she is," and then they show a long shot of, and then we see that he's too far from the queen or from Cat for her to hear him. And there's just one guy kind of limping, one little extra, and he's kind of limping.
I didn't see the
around.
extra.
Oh God, he cracked me up. He's just looking at the camera like, I'm on Game of Thrones.
So
Scene
next scene is Bran, and he's hanging out with Abe Vigoda. They're doing lessons.
Mm-hmm. And his brother Mark Hamill is practicing shooting arrows.
Again, not his brother.
Is that
Yeah,
the Squire?
Theon Greyjoy. He's not the Squire. He's a ward.
He's the Greyjoy.
He's the Greyjoy. Yes, and there was a lot. There was a lot of information in this little scene, and I failed to catch a lot of it.
I have here that, well, as soon as they said Abe Vigoda, the theme song from Barney Miller went through my head. Boom, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-dum. Anyway, sorry. Well, they're talking about the different tribes, the different kingdoms,
The different
and
houses. Yeah.
yes, and what their slogan is, what their banner or their standard is. I guess that's
Yeah, their
important to know
colors.
because as you've noticed, there's a lot of fucking standards running around.
Yeah. They
I
talk
wonder if
about
there's a
their.
substandard. So if you have a
talk about-
standard, oh wait, so if you have a standard,
Okay.
and then you have like a smaller kingdom under that, Did they get a substandard? And then
So Brand's
so
like not really. He doesn't want to do lessons anymore.
he could
And so
give a fuck.
Abe Vigoda gets into talking about how, listen, boy, when you was born, I pulled you from your mother.
Oh, that was awful. That's like too much TMI, TMI, TMI.
Yeah, like,
You don't
geez.
need to
So
know
you're
that.
a midwife, Abe? That's
Yeah.
cool. And also, it was pointed out in the scene that Kat sat with Bran for
For
3 weeks.
weeks. I've got
That's
a
all the-
whole thing about this.
Okay, take me there.
Okay. I've decided that calendars are just fucked up in Westeros. Okay? You don't know what you're going to get. 2 hours is a minute and a half. A week is 13 days. What day is it? I don't know. What time is it? I don't know. But we know the winter's not here because everybody keeps saying it's coming. But it's not there.
And winter is coming.
Because she says 3 weeks. But before that, she said she had prayed for a month. Right?
Well, that's 5 weeks.
Stark has been in fucking winter. No, King's Landing for a month. They say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It is a
don't
mystery.
know.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. What is going on?
So the kid's not having anybody. He doesn't care. He gives no shits.
And we do
He doesn't
indeed
know what
find
day
out.
it is. He doesn't know how old he is. But
No.
he's pissed because
He
he's
doesn't
like,
know
I'm
anything.
never going to get to shoot an arrow again.
So we do see that earlier in the scene, Theon says that Greyjoys are good at archery, and then another thing, and then lovemaking. And we see he's actually not bad at archery. And in the very next scene, he knows how to fuck.
Well, he knows how to doggy style. I don't know.
Everybody in this world does.
I know.
But,
you know why? It's the most humiliating for the woman.
oh, geez, I hadn't thought of it that way.
That's why.
That's probably true.
See, we've all learned something here today. I
I
said the
learned a
squires.
shitty thing.
I said the ward's going to Pound Town with good old Roz.
He indeed was giving her all kinds of business. And this is, believe it or not, okay, there's a dick. Actually, what I wrote is, he's not bad at dick. Oh no, there's a dick. And I didn't write anything else except for don't be mean to Roz. Because he's immediately mean to her. And this is where the first 2 uncomfortable boobs come in, because it's really hard for he gets rough with her, and I'm not.
Yeah, when he's being a dick to her, it's
I
not
didn't
happy,
care for
fun
that.
time,
It's like,
booby
well, no, her
time.
boobs are
It's
kind of uncomfortable.
now it's a vulnerable position, right? Now
Yes, I
she's
don't
more
like that.
vulnerable. Yeah.
But then she grabs his honk, and then whatever.
She says, "You're a serious boy with a serious cock," and he says,
"Cock-a-doodle-doo."
I don't want to pay for it. And she's very quippily says, "Then get yourself a wife." And then the next scene I have, it's cat chasing day.
Yeah, we're back with Arya chasing cats.
Chasing cats. And
then the discomfort begins once again.
when Varys comes into the room. That one?
Yes. So he walks into Ned's office, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he suddenly starts closing every fucking blind.
Right.
And shutting all the shutters and rolling down the things, and he's taking those curtain knots those dudes were gonna hang a dude with. Well, he's taking them down and move the curtains, and he shuts the door and he waves at Captain Yori. Hey, buddy, you gonna stay out here for a minute? Thanks, buddy. And closes the door and he's like, "Holy shit, dude, the king's gonna fucking die." Except he says it, "Holy shit, dude, the king's gonna fucking die." Do you mind if I sit after rearranging your furniture? Please.
So,
Please.
he starts with the king's a fool. And he's
The king is a fool.
And he's doomed.
And there's some really dramatic zoom in on that little Billy Corgan head.
There. Yeah. Okay, so he says, well, what kind of doom does the king face? And he says the same as Jon Arryn. So we know it's going to be the poison. And he says, it's tasteless and leaves no trace. And I'm like, is it iocane powder?
The tears of Lys, a rare and costly thing. Presumably, the woman that could make a guy come with her eyes. has something to do with the tears of Lise.
Oh, that was it.
Oh my
Lise?
God, I know what it is. It's
Okay.
a horrible concoction that woman made up.
Okay, I had to throw this in because I got sidetracked in my brain about Princess Bride. And it just dawned on me. Okay. The two warring countries in Princess Bride is Gilder and Florin. And
Those are
Gilder's
both units
of
they're both
money.
units of money, yes.
Where?
The Gilder was Dutch and the Florin was Venetian, I believe.
Okay.
Which kind of makes sense.
Okay, you and I
because-
listened to the same podcast then.
No, I just
They were
that's
talking
a-
about Gilders and Florins. Anyway.
What were who did?
Which one? Citation? Was it citation needed? I don't remember.
I-
Anyway. But
I
they
mean,
were talking
I-
about Gilders and Florins, and I'm like, oh, I finally get it now.
Okay.
So then he
It was
says,
Florence.
they don't- he-
It wasn't Venetian. It was from Florence. That's kind of
Florence?
obvious now. Florence, yeah.
Very good.
Before Italy was united.
Very nice. This is
Okay.
Travel with Spencer. So they don't
Hello,
know who.
everybody. I'm Spencer. Today, we're going to take a trip to Lake Winnebago. Have you ever been bored to tears? You will be. That's Travel with Spencer. Have a great night.
So is Lake Winnebago boring or you boring?
A little bit of both, I think, maybe.
Little column A,
Why
little column B.
why go to Lake Winnebago when Lake Michigan is just a stone's throw away? That's all.
Really? True. Okay, so that Varys says he doesn't know who poisoned him, right?
No, he speaks in riddles.
Right, and you get the impression that it was Sir Hugh, and that's why they had to kill Sir Hugh?
Yeah. Well,
that-
Hugh was responsible for poisoning Aaron, right?
Hugh was
Then-
responsible for poisoning Aaron. Okay.
Yeah. Then did he get killed by accident in the joust?
I don't know.
Because you
No,
really
I don't
can't
think so.
plan.
No, but they put him up. He was a squire who had never done
Oh!
anything before.
Oh my God! I just get it. He was knighted so soon,
Yeah.
so he could be thrust into the tournament and murdered.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, God.
And they
I'm
said-
tired now. Let's take all the naps.
And that's it, folks. There's still a half an episode left.
We'll be back tomorrow afternoon. No, we won't.
No, we won't.
No.
So he's murdered, and he says, "Well, why did everybody love John Aaron? Why did they kill them?" And he's like, "Oh, well, he started asking questions." And I'm like, "Questions about anyway." Then we have another change of scene.
What's back to Arya chasing the cats around?
Cat
and
chasing.
She's in the dungeon.
And we see the dragon skulls, which is very
The
cool.
dragon skulls.
These are
I
the ones
thought-
that Valerian was talking about in the bathtub, I think.
You mean Brad Mondo?
Yes.
Our
Brad
favorite
Mondo.
listener
Yes.
ever? Only?
Hi, Brad. I miss you.
Thanks, buddy.
At me, baby.
Wow,
Um,
that's weird.
So, but the cool thing is, so she sees the dragon skulls, and then she hears somebody coming, so she like jumps in the mouth, and I thought I'd totally do that. I would
I'd
make a little
I'd be
room in
playing
there.
on
I'd play in there constantly if I were her age.
there was a dragon tooth. Hello, I'm a dragon tooth.
What,
So
what kind of game is that? That's the lamest game ever. It's like,
that's how the
crap,
game is.
I got a knight
Look
stuck in me.
Look at me, I'm a dragon tooth. So as Arya's hiding in the dragon head, all of a sudden a
Two
key
guys?
jingles in a lock and a gate
Mhm.
swings open and two men talking come walking in.
Do we know who
And-
they are?
I know who they are. It's Varys and the Magister from
The Meister?
No.
The Master? The one that gave John
the
his-
Magister
one that
that gave Dany her eggs.
who gave
he's
who
like-
gave Edned his cloak pin?
That was the Grand Maester, I believe. But he that wasn't him.
But that wasn't Varys, was it? Oh wait, yes it was. You're right, because she said one of them was fat. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. And it was Varys who was fat, and the other guy was a foreign dignitary who happens to be the Magister who introduced Dany to the Dothraki.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I
And they're
believe I'm
saying
right on
the
that.
lion and the wolf will be at each other's throats. And then
Yeah.
they lock her in there. And I went, oh shit, she's locked in.
Fucked up, kid. You fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
But she gets out.
Yes. She does
We don't
get
know
out.
that she because we bam over to the throne room where
Yeah.
Peter Baelish is just staring at a chair made out of swords.
Right. And in comes the eunuch,
in
Varys.
comes Varys, and
Mhm.
boy, do they have a sleaze off.
Oh, yeah. It's my spies'
It's-
dicks are bigger than your spies' dicks.
I couldn't help but notice that you don't have any balls.
Yeah.
Do you know where your balls are?
Are they in a little box somewhere? And then he basically implies that
Have
Varys
they been
gets
punched
Can
until
I
you are
volunteer?
dead?
Well, he basically implies that Varys gets all his information from the prostitute boys, right? Because they would have all that information. That's
Yes.
what I took from it.
Because the boys aren't going to talk to Baelish, even though he's
Right.
responsible for their livelihood.
Right,
Yeah.
because he's the boss.
And of course, Baelish, he's not upset at all to tell the eunuch if he wants to have fun with the boy. He may, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's weird.
Oh,
But then they
talks
start
about-
they just
Yeah, go
start
ahead.
describing the other paraphilias around the area. And Marlon of Tumblestone likes amputees, and some dude.
Well, we should introduce them to the orange on a popsicle stick.
But my legs fused together. It still works for
Same
me.
thing.
I,
Space
Lord
man.
Marlon of Tumblestone, don't mind a popsicle stick. Anyway,
And another one likes cadavers.
fresh cadavers. And there's a long, lengthy talk about making sure to get a body before it spoils.
Yeah. Oh, it's
And
so
that was
gross.
unsettling. And it's just, maybe it's just the two of them being sleazy, and I kind of like Baelish a little bit. He's got some good streaks, but he's still a sleazebag. Varys hasn't really appeared good. He's just there.
Yeah, he's not good or bad. I don't think.
I-
He's the spider.
He is indeed the spider, but that was a sleaze off to the highest order. And then all of a sudden, everybody shows up for the council meeting, but the king's coming. Oh no.
Oh no. Well, I really got caught up in the story when Cameron from Ferris Bueller and Varys were talking. I didn't really take notes, so I'm glad that you did.
I did the best I could. They were just
Yes.
scummy at each
Yeah.
other, and
It's gross.
they talked
then
a lot
Aerys-
about. I have to mention they did talk a fair amount about Varys's balls.
Yeah. More than necessary, I'd say.
More than two friends would ordinarily discuss their testicles.
How often
around
do you
each other.
discuss your testicles with your friends, Spencer? I'm
Hey Jim,
interested.
I think you ought to know. My balls are great today. Is that right, Dan? Oh, it's good to hear.
My bad.
We'll have a good day with your good balls. Thanks, Jim.
Almost did a literal spit take.
That's two now.
I knew you were going into a story, so I'll take a drink.
And then it was pretty good.
Dumb. Okay,
My
so
balls are
Arya.
great today.
Is it Arya or Ares?
Arya.
Arya. She got out.
She's
And she's out
she-
outside the castle.
Mhm.
And then she goes around trying to get back in. And the guards are basically, get lost, no beggars, blah blah blah.
Hey, you're too,
get out of here, boy.
You're too smudgy. You're a boy and you're smudgy. And she's like, I'm not a boy. I'm the daughter of the hand of the king, and I'm gonna fuck your shit up if you don't let me through.
Pretty much.
And I'm like, way to go, kid.
yeah.
Way to go.
So she explains to them who she is, and so now she's in front of Daddy, and she's in trouble now. She's trying to warn Stark.
He's in big trouble.
Yeah,
But
So
also,
yeah. So
there's
she's
the story about the lion and the wolf and the spider.
and the
or
shark
lion,
and the savage and the pickles and the onions.
the savage.
the two all beef
the
patties.
Special sauce and also lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. That one's your fault.
Yeah. But as soon as she said the savage, that Stark went, "Oh, hey, did you happen to notice who that was?" And she's like, all I remember is like one of them is fat, just like a kid, right?
Yeah.
Gonna find the obvious.
I said, could be a whole bunch of people. My lord,
Yeah.
a night watchman is here to see you.
Yes, he needs
Who could
men
it
for
be?
wool.
it's Yoren. He's like, hey, can we have some peeps? He's like, whoa. And then, bam, I've got bad news for you. So Jory takes Arya up to her room, doors close. Yoren says, your wife has taken the imp.
Bum, bum, bum. That's a spicy meatball.
I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
And Stark gives him the oh fuck look.
And then we
That
cut away.
One. So then we see knights, soldiers. They're coming.
Yes, it's running into
driving
Cat's
6 white
entourage.
horses. Yes, they run into Cat. They say,
It's Sir Vardis Egan of Knight of the Vale. Yeah.
Right. Now, here's what I got to say.
Say it.
Neck ponytail boy, his ponytail is on point this episode.
Is it? I was not paying much attention to his face.
So it was gathered once, right? So he had
Yes.
the little knot right under the chin, like a chin strap.
Yeah.
Then the resulting beard under that, and I am demonstrating this for Spencer.
I'm watching very closely.
So he took the two, right? And each one of those is a separate little ponytail. So he's literally got 3, if you count all the...
Man.
Yeah. It's ponytailception. Because he is going to own that look. You know?
No one's ever going to come close.
Can you imagine the poor makeup girls sesh with that guy every morning?
He
How
just
long it
walked
must
in
take?
4 seconds. Because he already had... That's his real hair, remember? That's his real fucking hair. He chose... He said... He'd walk into makeup and go, ladies, real quick one today. I already did the first knot. And they just go, damn, brush, gone. Because this fucker, he knows. He knows what's up.
He was trying to start a thing. I don't think it took off.
No one wanted that same facial hair.
Yeah, no.
Because it's not. Is it facial hair? It's facial hair. It starts with his face.
Starts with mutton chops. So mutton chops are considered facial hair, I guess.
They ride into the Vale.
And he says, the Eyrie. I've heard it's impregnable. And then
they show a really cool map painting.
But then they say something like, I'd impregnate that. Give me enough and I'll impregnate that bitch. And I'm like, but it's a cool
Tyrion
tower.
says, I like you.
Yeah, right.
But it's a nice little map painting. And then we cut back to the council. And Daenerys Targaryen is pregnant. I want her dead. I want her kid dead. I want a house burned to the ground. I'm sorry, I got carried away. She wants her entire he wants her entire family murdered. And this is intense.
It is.
Ned says this is really not a good idea.
Yeah. He's like, well, how do you know? Basically. He's like, how do you know? And they're like, well, Marmot gave us the information. He's like, yeah,
guy's
his
a
family,
traitor.
No, maybe not so reliable there.
Yeah.
And then, and he says, look, those Dothrakis, they've never crossed the Narrow Sea. So the odds of them coming across are like slim to none. So we're not going to do anything until the enemies are on the shores. Right?
Yeah.
And, but they're like, you know what? Sometimes if you're going to be the king, you got to do bad things for the good of the realm. If we kill her now, imagine how many lives we could save if we killed her now.
It's a little bit like the got to break some eggs to make an omelet.
Make a chicken.
You have a chicken, presumably, if you've got eggs. You got to break eggs to make an omelet.
Sure that's how it goes. You got to break some eggs to make a chicken.
Maybe I just wanted some eggs. I don't know.
Anyway. So Cameron, he's so smarmy. What's his name again? Baelish. He's so smarmy.
He's smarmy.
He's so bloodthirsty. And now Stark's like, you know what? I ain't gonna kill some girl. Fuck it. I'm not killing her and her baby. You know, and the king's all pissed off. He's like, I'm gonna have your head on a spike.
What he first says is do the order. You're the hand of the king, and do what I say, or I'll find me a new hand. The pin comes off. Resignation. Ned out. Meanwhile, Robert's shouting a lot. And I wrote, and probably incorrectly, I'll bet this doesn't last. By the end of the episode, I kind of regret having written that.
Yep, you were. Wow, that was the worst. Okay. So then cut to Stark. He's packing.
Packing.
Very badly. And
He was handling things and putting them down.
yeah, it didn't. Well,
Wasn't
anyway.
good.
So Cameron comes in and his Baelish comes in and he tells him that the king is just royally pissed.
The word treason came up.
Yeah. And he's like, how long are you hanging out here? And he's like, I don't know. Depends on how long it takes the kids to pack or whatever.
Pretty
He's
much.
like, well, if you're there at nightfall, I'll take you to the last person John Aaron talked to before he died. And I'm like, I thought that was the guy with the book. Was that the last person?
Last. The
Oh my
lasty
God.
last.
I bet there's another one. I bet there's like, well, I'm gonna take you to the real last guy. Come
Remember
on.
the last guy I said was the last guy? He's not the last guy. This last guy is the last guy. Fuck you, Baelish.
And then it won't take more than an hour. So Stark's like, fine.
The whole 6th episode is just them going, remember the last guy? I lied. And then there's another one and another one. And it's just Ned getting increasingly more irritated as he walks in. What the fuck, Peter? You remember the last guy? Oh! And it's a Twilight Zone episode. And in reality.
And he keeps getting off the train at the station. And it's the same guy.
It's Groundhog Day.
Oh, no.
Remember the last guy? I hope I did that well 3 times. That's all I care about.
Okay.
So anyway, Baelish kind of tricks Ned into sticking around, so they do. And then we cut over to the Eyrie, and we meet... Who the fuck was this woman?
Her sister.
This is Kat's sister.
This
who is
Kat's
breastfeeding
sister.
a 9-year-old.
I said, Robin is way too old to be breastfeeding.
And I thought, wait, this brings the wet nurse thing.
Yes!
Is totally on point.
That's what I said too. Like, we're getting a little more idea about that wet nurse question that we had earlier.
Totally on point because she's like nursing a 9-year-old.
Oh my
God.
I'm like, it was way
weird.
Uncomfortable. I'm really hoping that was a fake boob. That wasn't
poor
her
kid.
Yeah, because he was like right up on it for the whole scene.
He was nursing initially.
I know.
When they walk in, he's feeding, and it's like,
why do I get a feeling that was a prosthetic and it's like Sunny D in it or something? It's like a Capri Sun.
She's just like,
This bag is empty. This bag is like, I need a new bag. Could you put it in the bag?
It's been a long day.
And we need to film the scene again. I need to do the scene again, and the bag's empty. I'm just going. It's not. Can't get it. Can't get a bit more.
I'm pretty sure it's going to sound bad in Foley. In a Capri Sun, when you get to the end of it and you like go, and the bag just goes. That's the sound it would make, and her boob would just go.
That's gross.
And she's like, well, you wrote to me about the Lannisters. And she's right. I wrote to you to say stay away from the Lannisters.
Not bring him
and
to
now
my
he's
house.
Brought one in my place, and he's the worst one. And okay.
First off, no.
Her throne is cool. Did you notice it? Like a twisted, knotted, like root ball kind of thing that they've carved a chair out of. So it's more Frank Lloyd Wright than like the sword.
More than Frank Lloyd Wrong
from Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, I have to be completely honest. I was put off so badly by the breastfeeding 9-year-old that I did not pay all that much attention to the scenery. But it looks very much like the Emerald City, where they were. And that's kind of all I got from it, because all I could think was, he's too old for that. No!
Well, I said he has a temper tantrum. And then he says he wants to see the bad man fly. And
they chuck him out of the veil.
Okay.
Whew.
Are you familiar with the character Stefan on Saturday Night Live?
I have a very passing familiarity.
He's the one who put his hands over his face like this.
Yes.
We always talks about like the hottest nightclub on the corner of, whatever. And he says, it's got everything. Mick Jagger impersonators. Baby dolls on spikes. And there one of them is, and a human kite. And he's like, so then Seth Meyers is like, well, what's a human kite? He goes, it's that thing where you put a dwarf in a really big jacket.
I've seen that.
So then he's like, that's it's like all I could picture was Tyrion as a human kite, and I thought that would be really cool. But they're like, take him to the dungeon and introduce him to Mord. So then he's thrown in the dungeon.
And the dungeon is fucking cool. It's a hole in the side of the wall over an endless chasm. It's great.
I said, oh look, he can piss off the edge of the world again.
I really don't. He's too big a character. No pun intended. To be gone this early, so he's clearly going to get out of this somehow.
Oh yeah. But did you get woozy when they showed the over the side when he was like standing super? Do you get like that perspective woozy? You
There's
don't?
vertigo. No, I don't. I get sometimes I'm like stunned by height, but not like perspective woozy. No,
my hair looks weird.
I just go, whoa, that's really telling you as far.
I said that's the worst Airbnb ever. Get it?
Airbnb! Joke of the night!
I suck so bad. Okay, next scene.
Winter is coming.
So Loras and
Renly have some shaving time. Yeah.
They are. They're having like a cat fight. It's flirty, weird cattiness.
I'm fourth in line. Everybody loves you, and it's very sweet.
That clearly,
I said it was pretty hot. I mean, when he's shaving him and stuff, it was pretty hot.
I didn't like that because he said, "You prefer me like this," and he went, "Oh yes." And at that point, I'm just like, I'm perfectly comfortable with this relationship, but don't give me hairlessness as a prerequisite. That's pederasty in a way. I don't like it. I'm not calling it pederasty. I'm saying pederast-y. There we go. Sex pasty. I like them hairless. Ugh. There was a lot of shaving, and at one point,
he does his armpits too. I'm like,
yeah,
awesome.
and then he stabs him in the pec.
No, he just kind of cuts him a little bit.
Yeah, just a little twink. And then they talk a little bit about blood and how much people like Renly. Renly stands up. Loras undoes his pants, and there's an audible blowjob.
Yeah,
you can't see it, but you can hear it.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel about that, Spencer? Let's explore.
I was unimpressed by the sound.
I'm just gonna say you should be close up with it sometime. It's really not pleasant.
I'm sure it isn't. But what I was it's just like a poor Foley choice, I think. That's the only thing that bothered me about that scene. So yes, those of you curious, I can stand seeing two men on television. It's fine.
You just don't want to hear the blowjob.
I just don't want a poorly produced sound for the blowjob. That's the only thing. It just didn't sound right. It sounded like someone just took like a lollipop and went. It wasn't a well-produced sound. That's all.
I thought it sounded pretty accurate to me, but
I don't know.
Anywho.
I just was typing along. So he makes up for it with a hearty blowjob next scene. That's it. That's all I did.
So then the next scene is Stark looking very broody at his desk, and Cersei comes in. And she's gloating.
That's King Robert. That's not Stark.
Oh, that's right. That's not.
This is King and Queen.
I said, okay. Cersei's gloating about him breaking up with Stark. So she's talking to Bobby. King Bobby.
Yeah. Husband and wife having a chat.
Yep. And she's like, without a hand, everything goes to shit. And he's like, yeah. You want me to make Jaime the hand? And she's like, nah, he's a dipshit. And they both agree that if the Dothraki come over, they're all fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, is it her that tells the story or him that tells the story about if the king's hiding behind walls?
He told that story. And that is where I checked out.
Oh.
I checked out hard at this point, and this is actually when I felt like I might have been the highest. That's where I peaked. It was right at that point because I was just rapt and I was just listening so intently. Wow, This is a great speech. I'm not going to remember any of it.
Well, basically, he's saying that if the Dothraki come over, what'll happen? So the people who have walls to hide behind will hide behind the walls. And then the Dothraki will just say, fine, screw you. I'm going to kill all your people. Right. So they'll just go from village to village to village, kill the men, take the women and children as slaves.
At what point did the people start thinking, well, we're better off with the Dothraki than we are with the coward who's hiding in his walls? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep,
I remember that.
And he goes, what's more, 1 or 5? And she goes, well, 5. And he holds up 5 fingers and they're all separate. And then he goes, 1, and then he holds a fist. So everybody
one
sings,
army, one purpose. Army, one purpose. Yeah. And that was a football coach speech if I've ever heard one. What's better than 11 or 1? Any polydactyl people in this room? I can't do this metaphor without someone who has 6 fingers. Any 3-fingered people on 2 hands? This is a horrible speech.
They're having a conversation.
They have a lengthy one.
She says, what do you think holds it all together?
And he says, our marriage. And then they go, yeah, it's a good one, isn't it? You fucking jokester. How come I hate your face so goddamn much?
Right.
Basically.
Now, here's something I noticed. She didn't drink the wine. She put it to her lips, but she never drank it.
I thought I saw her do a swaller.
Nope. She was faking it. I think she poisoned the wine. So the next day he's going to be dead.
I don't know. I thought I saw her do a swaller, but I'm not 100% sure.
And who is Lyanna Stark?
That was Ned's sister that Robert was married to before.
Right.
Who he no longer remembers, regrettably.
Doesn't remember what she looks like, but she was the one thing he ever wanted. Somebody took her away.
And then we also find out that the story that Cersei told Cat when Bran was in recovery is a true story.
He'd been moved out of the NICU and
he was out of ICU. Yeah.
Yeah, she did lose the baby.
That was a true story. She talks about the death of her first son. So
right,
and Robert doesn't go, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But they basically have a very heated discussion, and you can tell it's not a marriage; it's an agreement.
It's an arrangement. Yeah, because she's got a lover, and he has many. Apparently,
he has all that he wants, 4 or 5 at a time. Some of whom taste of blackberry jam. I don't know how that works.
But... Apparently, okay. So she leaves. She puts her wine down. She's got the same amount of wine she had when she got in there. He takes more as she leaves. Okay, scene change. Who's the baby? She says, is it the king's baby?
Really fucking lost right there.
Okay, so
who is this? I don't know what's going on here.
This is the person that was the last person to talk to Jon Arryn before he died.
Yes,
it's this girl, and she's got a baby, and it's the king's baby. And Baelish is there, and I'm like, this guy's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And
well, this is his whorehouse,
right? And he's like,
one of his several.
True. You're right. And he says, well, how many bastards does he have? And Baelish is like, more bastards than you. And Jon Arryn tracked them all down.
So it was a greater than 1, presumably an integer.
Right. So then we have a
sorry. I just got carried away on a complex number of children. Okay.
So we have a gratuitous boob scene.
Well, this is Jory, the captain of the guard, is standing there, doing what he does for Ned. And there's a girl sitting on a bench, and she's just like, "Yeah, check out my tits." Just pulls her shirt open, and Jory just stands there.
Yep. And they're like, come on, let's go.
I actually wrote, Jory got boob-eyed.
So then they go outside, and there's Jaime Lannister
on his white horse.
He's looking for Tyrion. Yep, he's got his guard. Stark's not scared, but then everybody gets fighty.
Baelish is like, I'll call the city guard or the
yep.
The city watch.
Jory. What happened to Jory?
Jory. Well, after having looked at a boob with one eye, he got a dagger in the other one.
He did. He got a knife to the eye. That's not going to go well for him.
Jaime initially wants to have what is his purpose for coming there? Was he just there to attack Ned for
Jaime?
Jaime, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking for his brother. He figures Cap brought him there.
No, but apparently on Ned's orders, Tyrion was captured.
Taken to her sisters. Well, that's not true. I mean, he knows where she's going, but he didn't tell her to take
He
her
claims
there, in there.
no, that was her idea, and he claims it was his order. So
Okay, so I have to ask. So when Jamie and Stark are in the street and they're fighting, did you see the naked girl behind the tree?
I sure did.
That extra.
I sure
Oh my
did.
God.
Just like,
I was
hey, there's a
cracking
naked
up.
chick back there.
She,
And then
she would kind of look out every now and then she'd hide. But she was like full frontal nudity, just standing there. I was like, what is going on?
And 2 or 3 cuts later, you could see up above.
Yeah.
Above, there was more women hanging out. Like, hey, what's going on, Katie?
And they're all naked, like completely naked.
I mean, it's a brothel. I get that.
I get that. I guess it saves on laundry if you just have them hanging out naked.
Just bathe, and then we're back at it.
So,
but there's a kerfuffle breaks out because, of course, Jamie wants Tyrion. Ned says, "Up yours."
Yep.
And then, fine, take him. You're not going to kill him. We'll take you alive. Kill all his men.
Right.
And wow, things go bad.
Yeah.
Jory gets into a fight. Captain of the Guard gets into a fight with Jamie and is stabbed in the eye with a dagger right in front of Ned Stark. Like he throws him down. And then Ned's sword come out and there's a sword fight. And it was good.
So then,
good sword fight.
It's a good sword fight. It was a decent sword fight. And then Stark gets a pike, would you say?
Driven into his calf.
Right into the back of his leg. Like
right into the
through his leg, and he's just like pinned like a bug
it's like the opposite. It's the opposite of Scooter Shin.
Oh, it's log leg. He got a bad case of log leg.
Really bad sliver right in the meaty part of your calf.
Yeah, and Jamie's goes down. Pissed off. You know why?
Yeah.
He's going to die of sepsis because everybody died of sepsis. It's going to end badly. They said to take him alive, and the last scene is him like falling over. I mean, he's in shock for sure.
Wow. We'll see what happens.
Pop quiz. You come across somebody with a pike in the back of their leg. Do you take the pike out or do you leave it in?
You leave it in.
Why?
Because if you pull the pike out, he'll bleed out.
Correct. This has been EMT Talk with Eileen and Spencer.
Hi, I am not an EMT.
Neither am I. We make no claims to this, but generally they tell you do not take this as medical advice.
Don't take medical advice from a podcast.
No, ever. That's just
barely
bad.
Take watching TV advice from a podcast. Overall, this is a really exciting episode. I gotta say, I'm sorry that I lost count of boobs. I'm sorry that I lost count of deaths.
You're just gonna have to watch it again so you can see the dick.
I don't need to see the dick. Now, how many dicks did I write here?
There was at least
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then later on, there's a dick. So it was 8.
You said the word dick 8 times?
In my notes,
8 dicks. Oh.
I saw 1 dick.
Oh. I was gonna say I don't remember seeing 8 dicks. I think I would remember
I gotta be honest. No, I just wrote dick, because there's one. And partially obscured by the captions, I have to be honest. But I knew it was there. There was some caption overlay. So I missed a lot of the dick, but I noticed there was a general dick.
See, and I didn't see it. I must have been typing or something or moving my mouse.
Scene 5.
Yeah.
Most people be paying attention to Roz's boobs. I've seen them already twice. I had to pay attention.
It's just not exciting anymore. Oh my God, you see a woman's boobs twice. It's over.
They're fine. Whoever Roz, actress who plays Roz, you're fine.
Yeah, you got nice tits, Roz. I'll say that.
They're better than mine.
No, Kat's mom, or Kat's sister, not Kat's mom.
Kat's sister and her weird Capri Sun titty.
That
was the other.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. If this boy has been breastfeeding until he's 9 years old, that breast was way too full and plump and perky for someone who's been breastfeeding for 9 freaking years.
Yeah, her nipple didn't look like it had been mashed to shit forever.
Correct. It did not look hard, calloused, and just awful.
Like,
Yeah. So, yeah.
This is coming from the guy who's never breastfed, but I have to imagine it. I know that it has its benefits in some ways. It's got to be unpleasant after a time.
I have a true confession story. I tried with my first, but mine apparently are non-functional. They're purely decorative. And
You
so
did.
they didn't do anything. I starved this baby apparently for like 3 days. I gave her a bottle made of formula. Don't come at me. And she
Why would you do that?
drank a whole 8-ounce bottle. This is a newborn, drank like a whole 8-ounce bottle. I was
That's
like,
a
dang,
ton.
girl. Well, that's it. I'm Eileen. This is
I'm
Spencer.
Spencer. Oh,
We can't wait to do this all
Today-
again next week. But until then, we want to thank our producer, Mike, and the fine folks over at Injured Nerves Studio. If you want to yell at us, you can email royalhighnesspod@gmail.com or just, I don't know, send me a Harry Potter holler with your rantings on it. Oh, hey! Oh, you can look for us on social media now. We're on...
can we?
Well, we're on Facebook because I'm old. So we're on Facebook and we're on Mastodon. We opted to just totally forego Twitter for now, just to see how things kind of shake out over there. Because
I'm not willing to support Elon Musk. I'm sorry.
So yeah, you can find us in those two social media places, or like I said, you can email us. Remember, when you live in the upper Midwest, winter's always coming, even if it's here. Bye, Spence.
Bye.
Royal Highness is produced by Injured Nerves Productions and is available on all major podcast platforms. The opinions and comments expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests and are not affiliated in any way with HBO or the Game of Thrones series. If you want to contact us, you can do so at royalhighnesspod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back to listen again.